Thank you, Harry, very much for those kind words. We'll kind of be brief. You know, that was incredible. I've spoken after a lot of unbelievable things in my life, but I don't think I ever spoke after a movie like that. I felt like we just watched Top Gun. That was phenomenal. I'm here tonight, I would say first and foremost, because of my love for the Bitesh family. Grandma Patsy, that's how we call you. It's not Mrs. Bitesh. I'm sorry. To us, it's Grandma Patsy. We love you dearly. We love your sons, your daughters, your grandchildren, your sons-in-law, your daughter-in-laws, your great-grandchildren, the whole thing. And watching you, seeing you sitting here is incredible. It's emotional. It's so unbelievable because we were watching each step as it was happening, and there was so many vulnerable moments along the way. And the fact that you're here dressed so elegantly is really such an unbelievable beracha. I'll give you a little story. It technically has nothing to do with Hatzolah, but I think it'll make our point very clearly. In the beginning of the summer, I had to speak somewhere outside of the community. It was an Ashkenaz community. And I still hadn't prayed our beat yet. So it was after our beat. I was after the speech. It was late at night. I went to Ashkenaz shul to pray our beat. As you all know, I'm in the year of Shavan. I have to say Kaddish. So what's tricky about the way Ashkenazim pray is Syrians say Kaddish before Alenu. Ashkenazim say Kaddish after Alenu. So I'm standing there in the minyan. It's tricky as it is. I'm Syrian, they're Ashkenaz. I'm trying to follow along and do my thing. And they finish Alenu, and now it's my turn to say Kaddish. And I guess I didn't jump quick enough. I wasn't sure what to do next. And next thing you know, they start saying Tehillim. Ashkenazim say Tehillim at night. So I start saying Tehillim. I'm like, oh no, I missed my Kaddish. I don't know what I'm going to do. And my father just passed away. I can't believe it. I'm missing my Kaddish. I don't know. Now they finished Tehillim. And now I'm like not sure what to do. And can I say it now? Is this my chance? Do I lose my chance? And all of a sudden, a man behind me just says to me 3 words. He says, go for it. Go for it. And I jumped and said Kaddish. And in that second, I felt like, wow. A second ago, I was so vulnerable, so hazit, so weak, so lost. And one man's little phrase, go for it, gave me the courage to go and do it. Hatzolah is telling the Jewish people, go for it. My family never used it yet. But my father, as you know, was sick for 7 years, and the community didn't quite know exactly the extent of the disease. But my sister, Simi Mizrahi, was very involved in a lot of the medical in this community. At times, she was finding new ideas and new ideas. We're going to give Daddy this treatment and that treatment. And every time she would say, Joe, we're going to take Daddy to Florida, we're going to take Daddy to Miami, we're going to take Daddy to Germany, we're going to take Daddy to Cleveland. I'm like, Sim, what are you talking about? Daddy's in no condition to fly to Germany. How are we getting Daddy to Germany? And she said, Joey, what are you worried about? Hatzolah. That's what we're going to call. That sense that there's someone behind us telling you, go for it. There's nothing you can't do. There's no treatment you can't get. There's no place you can't go. There's nowhere in the world, there's no doctor you can't meet. Oh, you're stuck in a wheelchair. Oh, you're in terrible condition. Oh, it doesn't make sense for you to fly in a plane and go into an airport. It doesn't make sense for you to even sit in business class or first class on a plane. Don't worry. Go for it. We got you. You know, we know Abraham Avinu is the father of Chesed for our nation. And the famous story is the story of him that 3 guests came to his house. What's so incredible about that story? Everybody in this room has had 3 guests come to their house that they've served. The answer is there's one piece of it that's unique, and that is Abraham Avinu just kept running to do it. Watching those angels on those videos, you saw people running to do it. Now, I always thought it was incredible when they run in the middle of a workday to take someone 3 miles away to the hospital. But to run to Panama, to run to Miami, to run to Germany, to run to New York, to run to from anywhere around the world, that's crazy. How could we not give them the support? How could we not be behind them? Our forefather Abraham Avinu taught us what chesed is. And chesed is telling every single Jew, we will run anywhere we can to help you. We are behind you. No matter what you do, no matter where you are, we're going to stand behind you and tell you, go for it. I have to tell you a little cute follow-up to that story. I walked out of that minyan and I was like, wow, that person has no idea how powerful those 3 words were. I said, I have to tell him thank you, but I have no idea, how I was. About a month and a half later, in the middle of the summer, I took my wife and my daughter and her husband out to dinner in Lakewood in this restaurant called The Loft. And there's this big table of like 12, 15 people sitting on the table. And the head of the table, an older man, comes over to me. He says, you're Rabbi Haber? I said, yes. Ashkenazi man. Never met him before. He says, we all listen to your classes. My whole family listens to the classes. And one of my sons is having a birthday tonight. And we'd like you to come and give him a blessing for his birthday. So I'm standing there waiting. Okay, so I said, no problem. Give me 2 minutes. I love being able to make someone happy. I stood there, thought about it for 2 minutes, went to the table, gave them a whole little 3-minute speech and a whole blessing. After the speech was over, one of the sons told me, he says, Rabbi, I was the guy who was behind you in that minyan that night. I was the one who told you, go for it. I said, you don't know how much I wanted to meet you and thank you for that moment. I hope no one in this room ever feels the vulnerability that the Batesh family felt. My grandma Patsy was on the floor the entire Friday night. I hope you don't ever feel the vulnerability that my family's felt over the last 7 years trying to figure out treatments for my father, alav shalom. But I know this, that if that moment ever comes, you want someone behind you telling you, no matter what, no matter how much you have, no matter who you are, you want someone behind you telling you, go for it. Tonight is our opportunity to tell Hatzolah Air, go for it. Thank you.